Welcome to The Rise with Sterling Phoenix. This is the show for ambitious leaders and bold professionals who want clarity, momentum, and results without burning out. Each episode, we cut through the noise and get to what actually works. Whether it's resetting from burnout, leading with influence, sharpening your message, or building systems at scale. No hype, no fluff, just clarity you can use right now. This is The Rise. Let's go. AI isn't magic. It isn't doom, and it isn't optional. It's a tool, and the leaders who know how to separate hype from results are the ones who are going to win. Welcome to The Rise with Sterling Phoenix. This is a fire episode. Big, bold clarity first insight you can actually use today. And today, we're cutting through the noise on AI in marketing. Because everyone's talking about it. Your board is asking about it, your team is experimenting with it, and your competitors are claiming they're using it. But most of what you're hearing is still hype. Either utopian, AI will replace everything, or fear-driven, AI is going to take your job. The reality is more nuanced. Some AI applications are delivering measurable results right now. Results that actually move your business forward. Other AI applications, wow, they're just smoke and mirrors. Vendor-driven FOMO that's burning budgets and creating shelfware. Today, I'm breaking down both. What's hype, what's real, and how to tell the difference so you can lead through this moment instead of getting swept up in it. Because here's what's at stake. Marketing leaders are under pressure to do something with AI, but don't know what's real, what's worth investing in, or how to measure success. Your team is anxious, wondering if their skills matter anymore, or if AI is just coming for their jobs. And hype kills budgets, but results fund growth. So let's get clear. Before we dive in, let me set the context for why this conversation matters right now. We're in a moment where AI has moved from emerging technology to board-level mandate, faster than most leaders know how to handle. 6 months ago, AI was a side project. Today, CEOs are asking, what's our AI strategy? How are we using this? Where are we falling behind? And that pressure is creating chaos. Because when leaders feel pressure to adopt AI without understanding what to adopt or why, they make really expensive mistakes. They buy platforms they don't need, they implement tools that create more work than they save, and they trace trends instead of solving actual problems. And the teams paying the price, the marketing teams who are being told to use AI without clarity on outcomes, measurement, or support, they're burning out. So today, we're getting clear on what works, what doesn't, and how to lead through this moment with confidence instead of confusion. Let's start with the hype. The claims you're hearing that sound so impressive but don't actually hold up under scrutiny. I'm going to call out 3 categories of hype that are burning budgets and credibility right now. First up, the claim that AI is going to replace your copywriters, designers, and strategists. That all you need is ChatGPT and you can create unlimited content for free. Here's the problem with that claim. AI drafts content that is generic, forgettable, and brand eroding. Sure, you can generate thousands of blog posts in an afternoon, but will anybody read them? Will they sound like your brand? Will they differentiate you in any way? No. They'll sound exactly like every AI-generated blog post out there, and they'll be middle of the road. Here's what this looks like right now in practice. Go to LinkedIn right now. Scroll through executive posts. Notice how many of them sound exactly the same. Same structure, same tone, same predictable hook, same here's what I learned framing. That's AI-generated content at scale. And it's creating what I call a LinkedIn post farm, where every VP sounds like they were written by the same algorithm. Well, because they were. And your audience, they can feel it. They scroll past it and they don't engage with it. Because there's no texture, no perspective, no humanity. So if your AI strategy is simply, let's just use ChatGPT to pump out content faster, you're not winning. You're just contributing to the noise. The second category of hype, vendors slapping AI powered on everything for funding and FOMO. You've seen this. Every single SaaS tool says, has AI features. Every platform complains they're using machine learning. And leaders, under pressure to adopt AI, they start buying these tools without asking the most important question. What problem does this actually solve? Here's what happens. A vendor pitches you an AI-powered marketing platform. Sure, it sounds impressive. It looks good in the demo. So you buy it. You implement it. And 6 months later, it's still sitting there, barely used because nobody could articulate what outcome it was actually supposed to deliver. That's shelfware, and it is crazy expensive. Not just in dollars, though that's real, but in credibility. When your team sees you chasing shiny objects without some kind of clear strategy, they lose trust in you. They stop believing that leadership has a handle on this AI transition, and trust erosion is way more expensive than wasted software licenses. So here's the filter you need before buying any AI tool. Ask, what specific measurable outcome will this deliver in the next 90 days? Not, it will make us more efficient. Be specific. For example, it'll reduce campaign setup time by 15 hours per launch. Not, it'll improve our target marketing. You need to be measurable. So you want something more like it'll increase our conversion rate by 8%. If the vendor can't answer that question with specificity, you're looking at shelfware and you need to stop and walk away. Now, the third category of hype, the fear-driven narrative that AI will replace your marketing team. This one is particularly destructive because it creates paralysis. Leaders freeze because they don't know whether to invest in their people or prepare for a future where those people aren't actually needed. Teams disengage because they feel like they're being phased out, and everyone's operating from anxiety instead of strategy. Here's the reality. Teams shrink not because of AI, but because leaders misuse it. When you use AI as a replacement for thinking instead of a tool for amplification, yes, you'll need fewer people. But you're also going to produce worse work because AI without human context, creativity, and connection is just efficient mediocrity. The leaders who are winning with AI aren't replacing humans. They're redeploying humans to higher value work. So instead of spending 20 hours on manual data entry, your analyst is spending that time on strategic interpretation. Instead of spending 15 hours on campaign setup, your campaign manager is spending that time on optimization and testing. AI doesn't eliminate the need for smart humans. It eliminates the need for smart humans to do dumb work. And if you're using it to replace people instead of elevate them, you're making a strategic mistake that will cost you in retention, quality, and most importantly, competitive advantage. All right, enough of the hype. Let's talk about what's actually working. The AI applications that are delivering measurable results right now, the ones you can implement this quarter and show ROI next quarter. I'm going to break this down into 4 categories of real results. First off, task automation. This is where AI delivers the most immediate, measurable value. So, for example, keyword clustering. Instead of manually grouping thousands of keywords, AI does it in minutes. Or send time optimization. AI is great at analyzing engagement patterns and automatically scheduling emails when your audience is most likely to open them. Or personalization at scale. AI dynamically adjusts messaging based on user behavior, company size, industry, variables that you could never personalize manually. Here's a real example. A B2B marketing team was spending 40 hours per major campaign on just setup, building segments, writing variations, scheduling sequences. They implemented AI-driven personalization and workflow automation, and the result? Campaign prep dropped 12 hours. Same quality, same conversion rates, 28 hours saved per campaign. That's not hype. That's measurable efficiency. Now, here's what matters about that time savings. Those 28 hours didn't just disappear. They got redirected to campaign optimization, testing new channels, and strategic planning. The team didn't shrink. They got better results because they were freed up to do work that actually required human judgment. And that's the promise of AI when you use it right. Not fewer people, but people doing more valuable work. Now, the second category, pattern recognition and predictive intelligence. This is where AI moves from task automation to strategic insight. For example, customer sentiment analysis. AI is capable of scanning thousands of customer interactions to identify patterns that you could never catch manually. It's also great at predictive churn models. AI can flag which accounts are at risk 60 to 90 days before they actually churn. And it's also good at intent signal detection. AI is good at identifying which prospects are actively researching solutions like yours right now. So here's what this looks like. A SaaS company implemented an AI-driven intent model that analyzed website behavior, content engagement, and third-party signals. The result? Their sales team could see which accounts were most likely to buy in the next 90 days with 78% accuracy. Now, that shortened their sales cycle by 23 days on average. Crazy, huh? And that's because reps weren't wasting time on cold accounts. They were actually focusing on accounts that were already in market. That's not hype. That's revenue acceleration. And here's why this category of AI matters so much. This is an AI application that actually aligns marketing and sales. Because when marketing can say, here's the accounts showing buyer intent right now, sales stops complaining about lead quality. And when sales can see predictive scores that actually correlate to close rates, they trust marketing's prioritization. That alignment, that's what shortens sales cycles, increases your win rates, and gets marketing a seat at the revenue table. Now the third category. AI as a creative tool. This is where people get confused because they think either AI writes everything or AI writes nothing. The reality is in between. AI is a brainstorming partner, a first draft generator, a variant creator, but it's always human edited, always human guided, and always human refined. Here's how this actually works. Let's say you're launching a campaign and you need subject lines. So instead of spending an hour staring at a blank screen, you prompt AI. Generate 20 subject line variations for this campaign, ranging from direct to curiosity driven. AI can give you 20 options in 30 seconds or less. You scan them. 12 are terrible. 5 are okay. 3 are actually interesting. Now, you take one of those 3, you sharpen it, you inject your brand voice, and you test it. Total time, 10 minutes instead of an hour. And you end up with a better result because you evaluated 20 options instead of just 3. And here's the skill that really matters. The ability to guide AI, not just use it. Anyone can type a prompt into ChatGPT. That is not a differentiator. But the ability to craft prompts that yield useful outputs, or evaluate AI-generated options with strategic judgment, or refine AI drafts to match brand voice and strategic intent, well, those are skills. And that's what separates people who get real value from AI from people who just play with it. Now, the fourth category, real-time optimization and predictive measurement. This is where AI replaces lagging rear-view mirror analytics with forward-looking intelligence. Campaign optimization in real time. Here we have AI detecting which ad creative is fatiguing and automatically rotating in fresh variants. or budget reallocation based on performance signals. AI shifts the spend from underperforming channels to high-performing ones without waiting for end-of-month reports. Or predictive models that forecast campaign performance. AI is able to tell you on day 3 whether this campaign will hit its targets, so you can adjust before you've burned the entire budget. Here's a real result. A marketing team was running paid social ads. Historically, they'd just review the performance weekly and make manual adjustments. They implemented AI-driven optimization that monitored ad fatigue signals in real time. The result? AI detected creative fatigue 4 to 5 days earlier than humans ever would have. It automatically paused underperforming variants and scaled the winning ones. The outcome? A 19% reduction in cost per acquisition because they weren't burning budget on fatigued creative. Now that's measurable. That's ROI you can take to your CFO. All right, we've covered the hype and the real results. Now let's talk about how you actually lead through this AI transition. Because knowing what works is just not enough. You need frameworks for evaluating tools, making decisions, and guiding your team. I'm going to give you 3 frameworks you can start using this week. Now, before you buy or implement any tool, run it through these 3 simple questions. Question 1, what specific outcome does it deliver? Not efficiency or better insights. Be specific. It needs to say something like, reduces campaign setup time by 15 hours, or increases email open rates by 12%. If the vendor can't name a specific, measurable outcome, we're just talking hype here. Run, don't walk away. Now, question 2. Can we measure success in weeks, not years? AI tools that require 18 months to show value are high-risk bets. The best AI applications today show measurable impact in 30 to 90 days. If you can't see results fast, you can't iterate fast. And in AI, iteration speed absolutely matters. Question 3. Does it replace busy work or create new busy work? Some AI tools automate tasks. Others add complexity. New dashboards to monitor, new workflows to manage, new training required. If that tool creates more work than it actually saves, that's not a productivity gain. It's a productivity drain. Now, use those 3 questions as you filter. And if a tool doesn't pass all 3, do not buy it, because every dollar you spend on hype is a dollar you're not spending on AI that actually works. Now here's the second framework. Knowing what humans must own versus what AI should handle. This is the clarity that separates leaders who use AI well from leaders who misuse it. What humans must own includes vision. AI cannot set strategy. It can't decide what your brand stands for or where you're trying to go. Second, brand voice. AI can draft, but humans define the tone, the personality, and the way you show up in the world. Third, ethical guardrails. AI does not have judgment. Humans have to decide what's appropriate, what's crossing a line, and what serves the mission. And fourth, empathy and connection. AI can't read the room. It can't sense when someone needs a different approach. It can't build trust through presence. Those are non-negotiable human responsibilities. And if you're delegating those to AI, you're abdicating leadership. Now here's what AI should handle. Scale. It's great at personalizing 10,000 emails or analyzing 50,000 customer interactions. Processing data at volumes humans can't is its forte. Second, speed. It is amazing at real-time optimization, instant pattern recognition, or rapid testing and iteration. Third, signals. It is amazing at detecting intent, identifying trends, or surfacing insights buried in the noise. And fourth, pattern recognition. It can find correlations that humans would miss. It's great at predicting outcomes based on historical data. And that's where AI excels. When you combine human judgment with AI's computational power, you get results that neither could achieve alone. And here's what gets this balance right: leaders who build teams that move faster without burning out. Because when humans do human work and AI does computational work, you're not replacing people, you're amplifying them. Your team isn't anxious about being replaced. They're excited about having better tools. And that's how you retain top talent while accelerating results. Now, the third framework, the 15-minute pilot test. This is how you move from theory to action without massive investment or risk. Here's how it works. Step one, pick one marketing workflow, something repetitive, something that takes time, things that people don't really want to do, like campaign setup or reporting or content drafting. Step two, run it with AI. Use a free tool. Test workflow automation or generate a draft with AI and compare it to your manual process. Step three, measure two things. Number one, time saved, and number two, quality maintained. If the AI version takes half the time and maintains 80% or more of the quality, you found a winner. Scale it. If it doesn't save meaningful time or the quality drops, cut it. No sunk cost fallacy, just data-driven decisions. The beauty of this framework is speed. You're not committing to some kind of 6-month implementation. You're just running a 15-minute test. And if it works, you scale. And if it doesn't, well, you learn something in 15 minutes instead of 6 months. That's how you lead through uncertainty. Not with big bets, with fast, small tests that compound. All right, now let's talk about how to actually lead your team through this AI transition. Because this isn't about tools and frameworks. It's really about people. And if you get the people piece wrong, then none of the tools are going to matter. First, you owe your team clarity about what AI means for their work. Not some kind of vague reassurances, not empty platitudes about AI won't replace you. I'm talking actual clarity. What are we using AI for? What stays human? And how will success be measured? Here's how you deliver that clarity. First of all, be specific about where AI helps. For instance, you can say, we're using AI to automate campaign setup so you can spend more time on optimization and testing. And you need to be honest about what's changing. And say something like, some tasks you used to do manually, like keyword clustering, AI is now going to handle. That frees you up for more strategic work that requires your expertise. And you need to be clear about what remains human. You say something like, strategy, brand voice, creative direction, relationship building, those are yours. AI cannot do them, and they're more valuable than ever. When you're that clear with your team, people stop worrying about being replaced and start getting excited about having better tools. Second, let's talk about the cultural dimension of AI adoption. Because here's where most leaders truly fail. They focus on the tools and they focus on ROI and they forget about the people. AI adoption fails when teams feel replaced, not empowered. If your team thinks AI is really coming for their jobs, they'll resist and they'll sabotage it and they'll disengage. But if they believe AI is a tool that lets them do more meaningful work, then they'll champion it. So here's how you lead this culturally. You have to frame AI as an amplifier, not as a threat. You need to say things like, this tool isn't replacing you. It's taking the repetitive stuff off your plate so you can focus on the strategic work that only you can do. You have to build transparency into adoption. You need to show your team the tests, share the results, good and bad. Let them see you experimenting, not dictating. And you need to invest in upskilling. Don't just implement AI tools. you need to train your team on how to use them and then give them some space to experiment. And finally, celebrate their wins. Because the teams that adopt AI successfully are not the ones with the best tools. They're the ones with the most trust. And trust comes from how you lead through change. Now, the last piece. Let's talk about what this means for your own growth. Because navigating this AI transition well is a differentiator. Not because you're the best prompt engineer, but because you can lead through ambiguity with clarity and results. So here's what actually matters. First, the ability to evaluate AI tools against business outcomes. I'm not talking every shiny tool, just the ones that solve real problems with measurable results. Next, the ability to prioritize which applications will drive the most value. Because you can't test everything, you need to focus on what matters. Next, the ability to guide your team through adoption without creating chaos. Because tools without trust, they don't work. That's the leadership skill. And that's what separates people who thrive in this moment from people who are going to drown in it. And when you talk about AI, whether it's performance reviews, strategy meetings, or anywhere else, always frame it as outcomes, not tools. Do not say, I use ChatGPT. Come on, everyone's used ChatGPT at this point. Instead, you need to say things like, I reduced campaign costs by 35% using AI-driven optimization. Don't say, we implemented an AI tool. That absolutely tells me nothing. Instead, say, we tested AI for intent detection, which shortened our sales cycle by 23 days and improved close rates by 18%. Do you see the difference? One tells me what you did, and the other tells me what you achieved. And achievement is what builds careers. And here's one more thing. You need to be willing to talk about AI failures and learnings. The fact is, everyone's experimenting and everyone's testing. And the best leaders aren't the ones who claim everything worked perfectly. They're the ones who say, we tested AI for content generation. It didn't work for our brand voice, so we pivoted to using it for ideation instead, which cut brainstorming time by 60% and improved creative quality. Now that shows judgment, and that shows iteration. That shows you're not just chasing trends. You're making smart decisions based on results. All right, let's bring this full circle. First, the hype. AI is a magic content machine that replaces humans. Next, shiny object overload from vendors chasing FOMO. And finally, fear-driven narratives that paralyze teams. The real results? AI for efficiency, automating tasks so humans can do higher value work. AI for decision clarity, giving you pattern recognition and predictive intelligence. AI is a creative sparring partner for brainstorming and first drafts with human refinement. And finally, AI for real-time optimization, detecting signals and adjusting before budgets burn. The frameworks? The hype filter. Specific outcomes, fast results, replaces busy work. Second, human plus AI model. Human owns the vision and empathy. AI handles the scale and speed. And the 15-minute pilot test. Test small, measure fast, and scale what works. The leadership edge? Clarity beats confusion. Outcomes matter more than tools. And culture eats strategy. Empower, don't replace. So here's your move this week. Pick one area of your marketing work that feels so repetitive. Something like campaign setup, reporting, content drafting, whatever takes time but doesn't require strategic thinking. Run a 15-minute AI pilot test. Measure what it saves in time, measure whether quality holds. If it works, document the result. Share it with your team. That's how you move from hype to results. Not with big proclamations about our AI strategy, but with small, fast tests that show measurable value. Do that this week, and then do it again next week and the week after. Because AI isn't a one-time transformation. It's a series of small, smart bets that compound over time. Here's the one thing I want you to remember. AI will not make you irrelevant. Confusing hype for results? That will. The leaders who win in this AI era aren't the ones chasing every trend. They're the ones who can separate signal from noise, test fast, and show real results. That's the skill. That's the edge. And that's how you build work that doesn't just survive this transition. It accelerates because of it. Thanks for listening to The Rise. Take a moment to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Here's the truth. Good is crowded. Burnout is optional. Leaders rise when they choose clarity. This is The Rise.